All right, Scuba Sleuths, you ready to dive into something a little different? Forget those dusty resolutions about finally hitting the gym this year. We're going deep on how to make 2025 your most epic year of diving yet.
Love it.
So no more vague promises to dive more. We're talking resolutions with real depth, but
Yeah.
where do we even begin, Besides needing a new wetsuit after all those holiday cookies.
Well, think of it like planning a dream dive trip. You wouldn't just hop on a plane without checking out the dive sites first, right?
Yeah.
Resolutions are kind of like that pre-dive planning. They give you some direction and a purpose.
So how do we go from, I want to dive more, to actually mapping out those underwater goals?
It all starts with, reflecting. Think back to your 2024 dives. What were your favorite moments? Were there any skills you kind of wished you'd nailed down a little better, or maybe a type of diving you were curious about?
I'm pretty good with basic buoyancy, I think. But that frog kick always seems to trip me up, especially around delicate coral. Mastering that would make a huge difference.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of a focused resolution. Instead of just aiming for better buoyancy, you've identified a specific skill that will directly improve your diving and help protect the underwater environment too.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. So we're not just plucking resolutions out of thin air. We're building on our existing skills and passions.
Exactly. And this is where things get exciting. Think about certifications that could open up new underwater worlds for you. Maybe it's finally tackling that advanced open water or mastering underwater photography.
Ooh, underwater photography.
Yeah.
Imagine capturing those once-in-a-lifetime encounters with a giant Pacific octopus or a school of shimmering fish.
Exactly. Or picture this. You're exploring a hidden cenote in Mexico, sunlight filtering through the jungle canopy, illuminating crystal clear freshwater. That's a dive experience you won't soon forget, and it's totally achievable with a bit of planning and the right certification.
See, now you're speaking my language. Those are the kinds of experiences I dream about. So certifications are definitely on the table. But what about those of us who aren't quite ready to commit to a whole course?
That's totally fine. Even without a formal certification, you can still set goals to enhance your skills. Maybe you want to nail that frog kick we talked about, improve your air consumption, or get more comfortable with night diving.
It's like leveling up your diving character. Each new skill you acquire unlocks incredible new possibilities and challenges.
Precisely. And the beauty of it is you can tailor these resolutions to your own pace and comfort level. Even focusing on one small improvement per dive can make a huge difference over time. It's about making each dive count towards something bigger.
So we've talked about skill-based resolutions, but I have a feeling there's a whole other world of goals out there, right? Things that go beyond just technique.
You're reading my mind. For a lot of divers, expanding their horizons is a major goal. This could mean exploring new dive sites, whether it's that local quarry you've never checked out or finally booking that dream trip to the Maldives. It's about pushing your boundaries, stepping outside your comfort zone, and discovering the incredible diversity of the underwater world.
Okay, I'm already getting that travel itch. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got to talk about actually achieving these goals. And let's be honest, we've all been there. Those resolutions that look great on paper but fizzle out by February.
That's where SMART goals come in.
SMART goals. Okay, I'm intrigued. It sounds like one of those acronyms people throw around but never fully explain. Break it down for me.
Happy to. SMART is our secret code for making those resolutions stick. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
All right. I'm starting to see how this applies to, say, wanting to explore more dive sites. Just saying, I'll explore more isn't very helpful, is it?
Exactly. But if you say, this year, I'm going to dive 2 new locations in my home state that I've never been to before, now you've got a game plan. You've been specific, it's measurable, 2 new sites, it's achievable, it's relevant to your interests, and you've set a time frame.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light. So instead of I'll get better at buoyancy, it's I'll master the frog kick by practicing for 15 minutes on every dive trip this year.
Now you're thinking like a pro. And don't forget the R, relevant. Your goals should excite you, connect to your passions. It's about choosing goals that make you want to jump out of bed and into the water.
That's the best kind of motivation. But let's dive a bit deeper, no pun intended, into the how-to of all this. We've talked about enhancing skills, broadening our diving horizons. What about the practical aspects of being a responsible diver?
Absolutely crucial. It's like making sure your scuba gear is in tip-top shape before you descend. So let's talk safety and health.
Yeah, no point in planning epic dives if we're not in good enough shape to enjoy them, right?
Right. So a great resolution could be incorporating more dive-specific exercises into your routine. Think about it. Strong legs for finning, core strength for buoyancy control, and good cardiovascular health for longer dives.
So maybe swapping out that afternoon Netflix binge for a swim session or some yoga.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
And don't forget about gear maintenance. When is the last time your regulator had a checkup? Or your dive computer got a new battery?
Ooh, that's a good reminder. It's easy to overlook the behind-the-scenes stuff when you're caught up in the thrill of planning a dive trip.
Exactly. But a well-maintained scuba kit is a happy and safe scuba kit. And while we're on the topic of safety, let's not forget those essential emergency skills.
You mean like knowing how to help a buddy who might be having a problem underwater?
Exactly. Even if you're a seasoned diver, refreshing your first aid and CPR skills, maybe even getting certified in oxygen administration, those are game changers. You become not just a diver, but a prepared buddy, ready to handle anything.
Talk about peace of mind. Knowing you've got the skills to handle emergencies adds a whole new level of confidence to every dive.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of responsibility, let's not forget about our impact on the very environment we love to explore.
Absolutely. Being eco-conscious divers should be a no-brainer. But beyond the usual don't touch the coral advice, what are some resolutions that can, really make a difference?
So think about your dive kit. Could you switch to reef-safe sunscreen? How about ditching those single-use plastic water bottles, in favor of a reusable one?
Great points. Yeah, it's easy to forget about those everyday choices, but they add up.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
And here's a resolution that's close to my heart: becoming a citizen scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine contributing to real research just by recording the creatures you see on your dives.
Right.
Wait, really? I can help scientists just by doing what I love? Tell me more.
There are tons of programs out there. You can log sightings of endangered species, track coral health, even monitor pollution levels. Your observations become valuable data points, helping researchers better understand and protect our oceans.
Wow, that's incredible. Suddenly my dive log feels like it have the potential to be a scientific journal. This is what I'm talking about. Resolutions that not only make me a better diver, but also a better steward of the underwater world.
Exactly. It's about connecting your passion to a greater purpose. And you know what? Sometimes the simplest resolution can be the most powerful of all.
Go on, I'm all ears.
Just dive more. Life can get in the way, but making time for even a few extra dives this year can make all the difference.
So true. Sometimes I get caught up in planning these elaborate trips, but honestly, some of my most memorable dives have been right here in my backyard.
Exactly. So another resolution could be to explore more local dive sites, join a dive club, maybe even just commit to logging those dives and reliving those memories later.
It's about savoring those moments, big or small, and letting that passion fuel your desire to keep exploring. So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive, I have just one question for you listening out there. What underwater adventures will you resolve to experience in 2025? What new depths will you discover? Dive in, explore, and let's make this the most epic year of diving yet. Until next time, happy bubbles, everyone.